You're listening to Support Creative Souls podcast, highlighting and supporting inspiring creatives, plus a few shoe stories to help kick up your innovative journey. Hosted by me, Stefani V.
Welcome everybody back to Support Creative Souls. We have an amazing show for you today and a super amazing guest. I'm so excited to introduce her. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you. This is Lidia Ferrufino.
You got it.
Right? Yeah. I was so nervous about saying her last name. It's a tough one, but I did it. So thank you, Lydia, for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And I just want to start out with tell us a little bit about yourself, how you can just be described as a creative soul, and how we can support you.
Oh, thank you. I do. I think I get the creativity from my mama.
You get it from my mom.
Yeah, I am somebody that cannot sit still. My mind is always going, so I have different outlets where I let that go. One of them being Livin Latina Live, which you graced us on not too long ago.
If you haven't seen that episode, go back, check it out.
It's on
watch
our
all her
YouTube.
episodes, but that one was the best.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that one because it was, going back to the youth.
Mm-hmm.
But Livin Latina is pretty much, it's a social media live talk show. And then I also have House of Alashros, which I am partnered up with Izzy, who is a fashionista extraordinaire. And that one really, it's a lifestyle and fashion blog, and we cater to the woman now, where we talk about empowerment, fashion, beauty, pretty much anything that we're going on, that's going on in our lives at that moment.
Right.
We bring light to it and we go from there. And then I also do interior design, which a lot of people don't know. So
I didn't know about. Well, I think you might have told us on the show a little bit, but you don't put that on social media and stuff. So
because
and nowadays if it's not on social media, then that person don't really do it. Okay.
No, the thing about the interior design is that I'm actually kind of like the back end and of one of my really dear friends, Karen. Okay. So it's Design with Your Diamond Mind, and I do her social media, her marketing. I do all of that, but I'm also her right-hand man when it comes to bigger projects or whenever there's a lot of like online behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't see when it goes into buying and building a home from the ground up as far as the decor goes. So I do that as well, and I love that.
That's like a lot of different things that you kind of tap into, which is what's going to be my next question is why did you want to start the show, and why is it so important for you to, as a mother and a wife, to jump into following your dreams and pursue these different creativity?
That's a good question. When I started the show, I didn't think too much about where it was going to go.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking the Facebook Live trend was like so big.
Yeah, it still is.
It really is. And I actually got into the whole Facebook Live thing through a beauty group. I was part of this group called Glamour Girls, Glamour Empires. Glamour Empire, something like that. I'm sorry, it's been a couple years. But they would pretty much kind of encourage you to go live, do like share your makeup routine, your skin routine, and people would go live. And I remember watching one of the admins, and she had like thousands of views, and I'm like, geez, what she has such a reach. So of course at that time I did the blog with Izzy. And I'm like, how can I help? How can I help? But I couldn't tie that together. And what I kept thinking was, I don't see people going live that look like me. Right. I don't see people going live that want to talk about things that I want to hear or want to talk about things that are important to me. I don't see moms out there with their kids. So I started kind of creating a concept in my mind about Livin Latina. And I was like, I want to not only have a voice, but I want to give other people a voice too. I remember thinking like, I have such a good connection with a lot of my friends they're all doing something. Like, my friend Karen, who's in interior design, and Izzy, she's a super fashionista. At that moment, I had a couple of the girls in mind that I wanted to kind of come in. My idea was to have rotating guest co-hosts. initially, and then I was like, what if we start with this force? So that's how I started Livin Latina. It was originally 4 of us. 2 of the girls got really, really busy with their projects, so they decided to step down.
It's hard. It's hard to, I know, like, I was actually, before this podcast, I had another friend he was in Miami, so we were doing it, like, as he was in Miami, and then we'd get on the phone, record it. But you start to realize, like, everybody's so super busy, and it's not that it can't work, but that everybody has just a life outside of you wanting to create something fabulous. So,
but it was perfect though, because I just felt like they were growing so rapidly, both of them, that I was like, there was the right thing to do.
Right.
So Izzy, you know, moved out of state, and that left me, and she was such a huge reason why I continued, because I could have just said, okay, it's done, it was fun while it happened. But she was like, go for it, this was your idea, this was your creation, and I just went for it, and I was able to work on my self-confidence a little bit, because it's always easier sitting next to someone and vibing with them versus just it being you.
Exactly.
So that's how it was. I just want Livin Latina to be a voice, to be a place where we can all come together, have some girl chat, empower each other, promote, like, you know, how I can promote you as a woman, you as a fellow Latina. And let me just say, Livin Latina is not just for Latinas. It's how I'm living my life as a Latina. Come join me. Come join the show. Yeah.
Which I think is great, because right now we're in the movement of women empowerment, the Me Too movement, and like just other women helping other women. You know, I have a friend that just had a book come out, and you know, so it's just like continuously supporting and building us, and there aren't a lot of platforms for us to do that. So when I first saw the show, I was like, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Because also we're in Houston, and Houston needs these type of things, because you don't see enough millennials and people doing things in the city with these faces. Okay, we're beautiful. Okay,
brown and proud.
Brown and proud. Okay, hashtag. And so, you know, when I first saw the show, I was like, that's a great idea. I love it. And at the time, I was still doing On the Mic with Stefani Vara. We switched over, but I know Connie was doing it too. So the Houston Latina bloggers, they're such a great force of women as well. So kudos to you for continuing it, and for, you know, doing it independently and keeping it going. And so let's move right along. So this show kind of is talking about, you know, I have it written here, following your dreams, but also balancing your life. Because as you might know, I recently became engaged.
I know. I have been dying to say this, but let me see the ring.
I cut myself with a knife today, so minus this finger, it doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, he did so good.
He did really good.
That's beautiful.
So thank you.
No.
So now, you know, not only, you know, all my dreams, everything that I've been doing is coming first, but now I'm planning a wedding.
Yeah.
I know for you, it's like, you know, you have your children, you have your husband, you have your, you know.
have a child.
Oh, okay. She has a child. I know I said children, but I'm speaking for all mothers. I mean, you have your children, you have your husband, you have your day-to-day life. So, you know, and I know for my sister, she just went back to work, and she has 4 kids, and so it's hard for a woman to know how to get that balance. And so how are some of the ways that you do that, you know, with pursuing your dreams and things that you're passionate about?
I think I have to kind of check myself, because when I first had the baby, I battled with postpartum depression, like really bad, to where I didn't leave my house for months. For months I didn't leave, and I was like, this is what I wanted. This is what God sent for me. So now you almost like you're stuck. Like this is your life. And I told myself this was it. Like, you had a child and you pray for him, because unfortunately I suffered with infertility issues for about 5 years before I conceived him. So once I got him, and once he was in my life, I just felt like, this is what you wanted, this is all you can do now. And I had to kind of check myself and say no. Like, I would get bored. Like I told you, I'm someone that's very creative. So I check myself and say, hey, if you can send him to preschool, for example, which is something I recently did, and you can have 2-3 hours to just dedicate to your mind being occupied on something that you love, it's okay.
Right.
Like, I had to push that guilt back.
I think for a lot of mothers, you know, even like my sister, it's just, just continuously, I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and I grew up, all my friends have kids, so I know it's just that feeling of like, give and take. Is this more important? Is that more important? Do you feel that guilt because you're working on things that you're passionate about? But I also think that there's now a huge support network and group of women that are doing more and including their kids and following their dreams with the different blogs and, talking about their kids to help other mothers, do that as well and feel like it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
A huge part of it was definitely like my husband. I'm very blessed to have a very supportive husband. So he was someone that was like, you're not meant to sit around. Like, you're not meant to just be a mom.
Right.
He's like, I married a woman that wanted it all.
Right.
I married a woman that he says, I don't think I deserve that credit, but that pushed him out to do what he's doing now and that supported him. So he's like, you have to keep going. And that's when I started to go back to work slightly, kind of part-time with Design with Your Diamond Mind. So I'm doing the interior design, and I was like, okay, it's okay to be away 3 hours and then come right back.
Right.
That's how I kind of wean myself away from him.
Giving you that little space of like finding yourself again.
Absolutely. And once I felt that, and once I tasted that, you can be a working mom, you can be a creative, you can do this, you can do that, and your child is still alive when you get home. That's how I did it. I just was able to do that, and now it's a lot of to-do list and balancing.
Right.
I work myself out as the day goes. Today this has to happen, tomorrow this will happen, and I have to pencil everything in.
And I think that's great tips for mothers that are trying to do it all. I mean, as women, we are made to do it all, and sometimes the lists help, and also just give different. I know a friend of mine, she read a lot of books to help her figure out her way, to figure out again what you kind of lose what you're passionate about, and so I think those are some great tips just to help women understand that you can
absolutely
do what you want to do and pursue your dreams outside of your family. Now for me, it's going to be, kind of like, I don't know, but we'll see. That is a great tip. So speaking about family, and I know a lot about this because I have a business with my family, and I know that you've been helping your mom with her earring company. So tell us a little bit more about that. And I actually wore her earrings, Cositas de Maye, on my last show. So if you saw that one, they were the red dangle. I should have worn them again for this show, but
I am killing myself because I had them separated. She made some for me, and I didn't wear them. I completely forgot. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, tell us how it is. Why, and speaking of, she's a mother who's decided to start a business at this time, and so I'm sure that was like new to her and exciting.
Definitely exciting. And she was a nervous wreck, to be honest with you. And I have to just real quickly sneak this in. Today is her birthday.
Oh.
Yes. So today, as we film, she is turning 60 years old.
Oh, see?
Yes.
So that just goes to show to all the older women who are watching this show that it's never too late to create and follow and pursue your passion. And I tell this to my mom all the time. I tell this to my sister all the time. Because it's just like, if you have something in your heart that you need and feel like you want to do, I just feel like, always I'm telling this to my mom, because she's like, I don't know, we're doing it. Nope, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome.
So she's always been a very creative person. She's always been a mom that kind of like makes us cositas, like, oh, mira lo que hice, like this and that. And I started to notice, like, she kind of went with the trends. Like, you remember when like those big scarves were like a thing where it was almost like draping you?
Yeah.
So she would make them and knit them for us. She's made beanies for my brother. She made a blanket for my son when he was born.
Yeah.
She's always done something. She made a beautiful apron for Izzy from House of Alice Rose when she started to go to culinary school. So then I was like, Mom, why don't you kind of continue to do things and let me post them to see if anybody's interested. I would buy it.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, nadie me va a gustar. Nobody's gonna like it. So she
always downplay.
She had this insecurity of like, you like it because you're my daughter. Nobody's gonna want to pay money for it. So I said, let me try.
Right.
I created an Instagram for her, and I created a Facebook for her, and you can find her under Cositas de Maye because her name is Mayela, but it's short for Mayela Maye. So I started posting tassel earrings, which is like the thing she's into right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, you have an order for 2, you have an order for 3, and this and that. And before you know it, I mean, she's selling. I mean, she's not. I told her, don't expect to be a millionaire, but you know, you can have some like fun money.
Yeah, and that's what I told my mom. She wants to retire soon, and you know, she's looking for something to do on the side. So that's originally why I started this to bottle the salsa, was to give her like a little avenue of like, once you retire, you know, you can sell the salsa and create, you know, do the cooking show, things like that. But you know, they try to limit themselves as much as possible, and they don't. It's also about having the confidence. So it's kind of crazy how, you know, like a mother's supposed to give a child confidence, and now it's kind of flipped where the child is giving the mother confidence. And I feel like I'm doing that to her all the time. Like, no, it looks good. No, like we do photo shoots and stuff, and it's just kind of funny how it's like, oh, it looks good. You look good.
I had to beg her. I don't know if you noticed I think it was a couple of days ago for the National Lipstick Day. I had to beg her to take that photo. If you go on her Instagram and her Facebook, there's a photo of her. There's no photos of her on her stuff. It's a photo of her, and I like styled her, and I put on the boldest lip.
I have to go back and see it. I don't know. I follow her on Instagram, so I have to go back and see it.
It was a couple of days ago for National Lipstick Day, and I was like, you know, no, don't show me. You put your face. I'm like, it's not my brand. It's not your brand. I'm not the creator. This is
and that may even be more sales, because if people see that it's like, you know, not this young hipster girl making earrings, that this is really a mother who's selling and is passionate about it.
And abuelita too.
And that's great. And that's a good story.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. If you want to go purchase her earrings, go to
Cositas de Maya, and you can find her on Facebook and Instagram. We're working to see if we're going to add her in any of the other avenues like Shopify and Etsy.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's working for her.
Just
so
on Instagram.
I mean, I think it's been maybe a month since she started. So, so far, so good.
So, as a fashionista, and you know, you are part of the blog, and you know, how does fashion take in your everyday expressions, like, you know, in your creativity? Like, what do you wake up when you pick out an outfit? Do you start with, I always ask this question, do you start with the shoes and then go up, or do you go with the outfit and the shoes?
It honestly depends on my mood, because if I'm feeling like your typical everyday Lydia, I am like, give me the flats, give me the jeans. I am a graphic tees kind of girl. Okay. So you can tell what I'm feeling depending on what my graphic tees tells. Okay.
You can tell
who's
coming out.
Which one's coming out?
Sasha Fierce
or Patty Betty.
No,
but I think it really depends on what I'm feeling. I usually work around from the top down.
Okay.
So what I want to do to my hair. If I'm feeling lazy, then this is gonna be very chill. If I'm feeling fabulous, then I want my hair big. I want lace. I want, it depends.
When's
and then
your
I work
birthday?
September 30th. It's coming out.
So you're a Scorpio?
I'm a Libra. Everybody says I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Libra.
September 30th. You're like cusp Libra, maybe Scorpio, no?
Yeah. No, my brother's a Scorpio and he's November.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a Libra, but I guess I work from the top down. What this feels will reflect on
So who are some of your style mentors or like icons? I guess, you know, who do you look at and say?
Icons, I see Salma Hayek and I just think perfection. Perfection. Right. You can see her on her Instagram with no makeup. Yeah. And she is so sexy to me. And when she opens her mouth, she's so smart. Yeah. That is such a thing for me. So Salma Hayek. I love Penelope Cruz, but I like Penelope Cruz to look at. I don't think I would fit into that style. Yeah. I think it's just a beautiful canvas.
She's not as glamorous as like Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
But she's plain but beautiful plain.
Yeah, no, she's
so you know, this is Support Creative Souls, and we love to talk about shoes. And I showed my shoe last time, so I'll show. I'm wearing some little
those are
heels.
Tall.
Yeah, I'm 5'2", so I got to give myself a little bit of heel all the time.
A little cushion.
So we'd love it if you could show us your little shoe, because you got a fabulous little studded shoe on. Go ahead and pick your little foot up there. Take it off if you want.
We got it.
Isn't this fabulous? Studded, all studs.
Yay!
I
had to bring it. I'm like, you're gonna be around Stephanie. You know, you gotta put on that bold lip and that good.
Put on that lip and put on that shoe. So, what is your everyday shoe? I know you're, with the hustle and bustle, and you're always going. I know you said it's to whatever you feel like in the morning, but is there like always like what is your go-to shoe.
So we were joking before I came on camera that I was like, let me put on my camera shoes because the ones I was wearing were not camera ready. I am a sneaker girl. Yes.
I love sneakers.
High tops are my favorite.
So like Nike Dunks or...
Yeah, you know, I'm a little bougie when it comes to the sneakers because growing up, I grew up very, very, I don't want to say broke. It was beyond broke. We were like poverty line. So there was a lot of things that growing up I knew I liked, and the fashion was a big one, but of course I couldn't even afford to say some of the name brands. So I'm bougie when it comes to my sneakers. Like I love Louis Vuitton sneakers.
Ooh.
I love me those like retro Chanels.
Yeah.
But then I also love the Yeezys. They're just so comfortable. So when it comes to my sneakers, I'm very bougie.
I was telling the last one, like I shoe model for kids for a long time, and like growing up we couldn't afford kids, so I was like putting the blue sticker on the back, getting the blue, you know, Sharpie.
Yes,
putting the kid sign in the
Been
back.
there, done
You
that.
know, my sister was like, we had kids all the time. I said, no, we didn't. We
You're
used
like,
to write
I made them. Yeah.
So we always talk to the youth, and you know, follow my feet is speaking to the youth and following their passion.
Yeah.
So what would you tell somebody, you know, about someone in the youth about where they are? I guess the question is, let me just read the question because I'm like fumbling over it. What would you tell a young creative who is currently where you are 5 years ago?
5 years ago, 5 years, I was very, very, I've always struggled with self-esteem issues and insecurity issues. I never felt quite adequate because like I said before, we grew up very, very poor. So I didn't look like my peers.
Right.
I am the daughter of immigrants, and I am an immigrant myself. So 5 years ago, I actually became a U.S. resident, and that did such a thing for me because I finally felt like I belong here. Like
you gave me chills.
I can come out now. I can come out of hiding. So me 5 years ago discovered that it was in me the whole time. I just had to let it out. So if you have insecurities, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's something that's holding you back socially, like, you know, immigration issues or whatever the issue may be, dig deep inside. It's in there. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be thinking about it. If you're thinking of creating something, or if you're thinking of starting something, your thought is in there for a reason. I am a spiritual person, so if God wanted you to think about it, it's going to be in your mind. So come out and push. And if you don't find it in you to do it, reach out to somebody that will. For example, I'm sure if you reach out to Stephanie, if you reach out to myself, and if you want a little push, if you want some guidance, if you want just a question answered, reach out to somebody, because most of the time when you reach out, you find that people around you want to help you. Yeah, they want to push you.
I say that's one of my key points is to ask and you shall receive.
Yes.
But if you don't ask, and you never know what possibility and what help you potentially get. So. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I know you said you brought me a little something.
I was going to say, wait.
I always love gifts, you know.
Yeah, so I noticed that you get some cute little accessories for your show. And she is all about the shoes, so when I saw this, I immediately thought,
you guys,
I know who
so
would love this.
Tears.
So this is for, and it's sparkly.
So this will be on the show every time because it is all about the shoes. It's all about my feet.
Yes. And I know you do the follow my feet movement, so I'm like, this is perfect.
Thank you so much.
So
my
welcome.
first gift on the show. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you for the special gift. If you want to do your little plug to tell everybody where to meet, follow you at, follow the show, go ahead.
So Livin Latina Live is the handle for my show, for the social media live. It's live. It's a live talk show, and anything goes. So it's at Livin Latina Live, and you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram using that. And if you're more of a fashionista, more of a lifestyle blogger kind of girl, you can go to houseofAliceRose.com. And on Instagram, we're at house_AliceRose. It couldn't fit, so houseofAliceRose.com will probably be easier, and you can kind of window your way down there. But other than that, if you're looking for an interior designer, my boss is at Design With Your Diamond.
She does it all.
Yes. But thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for being on the show, and thank you for joining us. You can find me on Instagram at Support Creative Souls, and we now have our Facebook up. Yay! So you can watch these videos on Support Creative Souls on Facebook, And of course, we're on iTunes and we are on iHeartRadio. Thanks again for joining us, and remember to follow my feet. That's a bye.
That's all for Support Creative Souls podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for next time and make sure and follow us on social media at Support Creative Souls.